You're probably wondering where I am right now. In fact, I don't even know where I am right now. It was a weird, weird night. But if you want to figure that out, go watch the last episode of the vlogs. The channel update vlog of the newsletter thing that I always put out. You can watch that and get some answers. But if you really don't give a shit and just want to hear my opinions of this year's games that I didn't play, stick around. And by stick around, I mean let's get started. So, this video is going to be a singlet video instead of a two-parter. I'll explain. This year, there was a lot of great games. Like, a ton of great games. I have top 10 games I didn't play 2017 situated. It's all good. The games I did play, though, were all pretty much the same games I played last year, apart from a small handful, not even a handful of games. So instead of making like a 10-minute video about the games I did play and the whole almost 20 minutes of talking of games I didn't play but I really wanted to, I'm just going to mash the two together. So we're going to start off with the games I didn't play. We're going to start with that, top 10. And then after that, we're going to jump into honorable mentions and then the top games I did play. It's not a lot, but that's because I didn't play a lot of new games. But I do have a lot of stuff to say about the games I didn't play. So let's get started. We start with the rehashing from last year's video. There are a couple games that I did play that I wanted to play, but I didn't get to of 2016. I did get to play this year, but they didn't make it on the list for reasons of me not really liking them or not spending enough time with them. One in particular, in fact. Let's start with one that actually was kind of a disappointment, For Honor. I got into the open beta when it was set up, and for the most part, I liked what it was trying to do, and most of the time I was able to pull it off. I chalk a good 80% of me not being good at the game to my computer. As usual, Hal, I love you to death, but you are becoming an old curmudgeon bastard. Of course, he's going to really fuck with me tonight because he knows. He's not here right now, but he knows. Yeah, but For Honor was the idea of having 4v4 people, like kind of area control map, fighting to the death with really cool, essentially fighting game attacks and counters and stuff. And I thought, ooh, if you could be really good at this game, it would be like amazing to play. It'd be so rewarding. It's a skill-based game. It was less skill sometimes and more 3v1s. And that wasn't fun. I liked chopping through all the NPCs. That was good. I'd like a game more like that. Of course, I think that's the Warrior series. I think that's more like the Warrior series, but not interested in any of those, unfortunately. But For Honor, played it for maybe a couple days, got the gist of it, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to be playing any more of this. So, unfortunately, For Honor fell by the wayside. And to a lot of people, that happened too. It's got a small following, though, so I can understand people still liking it, but me, not so much. Also, I believe I put down last year that I wanted to play XCOM 2 because I really liked XCOM 1. I got XCOM 2 this year, actually like a week ago, and I'm still playing it. again, problems with HAL, and it's not running as smoothly as I like it, yada yada. But I still need some more time to fool around with it, get to know it a little bit better, maybe take it out for some drinks, get to third base, I don't know. But there are still some things I need to figure out with it. It is harder than the first game. It's much harder than the first game. I'm dying so much. I'm restarting and starting over again so much. This is base XCOM 2, by the way. No War of the Chosens or any DLCs. Maybe once I've had enough time with it, I'll be able to get the DLCs and push forward and do my best. But I do like it. I'm not gonna say I don't. I do really like the game. I'm still learning its eccentricities though, but which is why it's not going to be on my games I did play of 2017 because I haven't had enough time with it. Same thing with Divinity, but we'll get to Divinity. Actually, we'll get to Divinity right now. As you know, crazy person here, I decided to start Divinity 2 on the channel. I'm barely scratching through that game. I had some problems, not gonna lie. Not completely familiar with the magic armor gauges. I get what they do. I'm still learning like little tiny details. And if you've stuck with the Let's Play, you'll also know that I had to turn the difficulty down because I could not progress. I was on like I would say normal difficulty. I would say because I think I played easy difficulty, maybe normal difficulty on the first Divinity. I think that changed. Like there's a difference there from first to second because Divinity 2 was hard. Like really, really hard. I was getting my ass handed to me left and right, no matter where I went, and unless I like did pretty much everything, I wouldn't be able to progress. So I had to change the difficulty down 1, which is the easiest now. I'm doing fine now. I'm enjoying myself so much more. You can tell in the videos that I am, because after a while with those videos, and I just kept dying and dying and dying, I was not enjoying myself. But when I changed the difficulty, I did, and it is much better Let's Play because of it, because now I'm killing people so quickly, and I'm able to grasp tactically stuff. I'm still, having my challenges and whatnot. There were a couple areas that really threw me for a loop and are still kind of throwing me for the loop, and I'm also avoiding certain areas because they scare me. But as of now, Divinity 2 is, I like it. I really do. But I'm not putting on the list this year because I want to at least finish it like I did the first Divinity, which is fine. Maybe at the end of the year I'll have a much better, bigger understanding of the game, but now it's still, it's good, but it could be better. Alright, let's get on that list, shall we? We have the top 10 games I did not play in 2017, but I really wanted to, coming up right now. On the number 10 spot is a very small title that doesn't have a lot of information about it just yet. But because I played one of the games in its series, I am looking forward to it. But because there's not a lot of information about it, no real tangible stuff to grasp, it is on my number 10 slot. That is Alice 3, aka Alice Asylum. If you are an earlier channel watcher, I played Alice Madness Returns. I liked the game. Got a bit tedious, I won't lie. Kind of dragged out, just maybe a little too long, but the world kept me interested and I really, really had a good time with that. Not my best Let's Play, but at least watch the highlight video that I made of it, that I now do few and frequently of. But Alice 3 has rumors and confirmations of being created. I checked out that they have a blog. Checking on through that. I know there's an artist I follow on DeviantArt. Yes, I still use DeviantArt. There's an artist I follow that signed up with the project, and I think they're doing art for it. And I really liked the artist, so art styling, I think, is going to be pretty good there. Otherwise, there's not much more information about it. I'm hopeful, though. Well, I am and I'm not hopeful. See, Wolfie didn't turn out too good. I really wanted to play Wolfie. I really did. I really did. But HAL jokes aside, I mean, once HAL does get upgraded, that's like one of the first Let's Plays I'm going to try and pull off. That's a definite. But Alice was able to be done, and it worked fine. Well, almost worked fine, except the fucking umbrella. Otherwise, Alice 3 is on my 10 spot because not a lot of information, but it still is piquing my interest. The number 9 spot is in the number 9 spot because it's DLC. Technically, it's an upgrade to the game that I already actually put in my top games of last year. It was the Blood Bowl 2 Legendary Edition. I love that. Like, you know how much I loved Blood Bowl from the last time I talked about it and did the Let's Play. That was fun. I really enjoyed that. And the Legendary Edition added a whole bunch of new races, mixed teams. Mixed teams, like, made that game for me. Like, I wanted mixed teams. It's like, oh, these are great teams, but I want to kind of put them together and see what horrible, horrible things I can create. And I created the Darklings 2.0. It's got Skaven. It's got Dark Elves. It's got Chaos. That's what they have. And I'm so happy with that team. I got a couple others, but they're not as good as my Darklings. Darkling Ducks, go! No. God, no. But yeah, no. Set in the number 9 spot because it's a rehash from last year, but it's kind of new. I put it on the list just not to pad it out, but because I just wanted to mention that it was really good. And if you don't have Blood Bowl 2, get the Legendary Edition. But if you do have Blood Bowl 2, there's an upgrade that you can get. That's pretty good, pretty cheap. And I did. I don't have all the teams yet. I might though. On the number 8 spot is number 7. Resident Evil 7, to be more specific. I was not expecting that to be good. I don't think anyone was expecting Resident Evil 7 to be good. Not to mention that good. It was probably one of the most surprising games of 2017. And it even piqued my interest. I don't do horror, but that's not really a horror game. It's kind of like in the same vein as Until Dawn to me. There are scary elements to the game, but it's not a horror game to me. Now, I've wanted to get slightly into Resident Evil because everyone hypes Resident Evil 4 so much. And I think I've even seen a Let's Play of Resident Evil 4. It looks great. I'm not going to deny it. Like, attaché cases, like, organizing stuff is, like, one of the most joyous things I can think of. And the gameplay is fine on its own as well. But Resident Evil 7 came up after failure for 5 and 6. Well, 5 was... 6 was not good, and then all the other kind of Resident Evil-esque. Although Revelations... No, not Revelations. Was it Revelations? It was the one where you could be 2-player. There was a child, and a guy named Barry, and it was apparently those are really good too. But the Resident Evil 7 really piqued my interest because of the story inside of it. Like, the story was great. How it felt, like the people that made it cared and put little tiny things. It was serious but kind of goofy at the same time. I like those kinds of things. It was quite the surprise. It's lower on the list though. It's only 8 because I've watched the Let's Play of it. It's great, but like now that I've watched it, it's going to be like for myself. I'm going to be playing it, and compared to all the other things that's on the list this week today, it's lower, but it still was. It's on the list because of how surprising it was to me. And if you haven't played Resident Evil 7 or know, God knows nothing about it, jump in. Go play it. They've got a ton of great stuff, and I think they have some like. Oh God, I'm infected. I am the angel of death. I see you and choose if you live or die. That is the feeling I get whenever I see Sniper Elite. That series just feels to me like something I would be good at. Not the serial killer aspect of it. That's a completely different aspect to it. No, I always thought that I would really be good with a sniper rifle. I am a calm, collected individual that is patient, and I don't want to be seen when taking out someone's head. Which is why, in the number 7 slot, we have Sniper Elite V4, right? Yeah, Sniper Elite 4. The 4th one came out, I believe it was this year. Sniper Elite 3 came out, I think, maybe this year or year before. But from all reviews I've heard, 4 is like the one that got it right. It is the perfect balance of skill, physics, yesness to the, okay, let's kind of put our beliefs aside, and this is a little cheesy. It was a perfect balance of the two, and, you know, I love my perfect balances of serious and silly. Plus, gameplay is amazing. Like, sniper stuff. I love sniper stuff. If I can be the sniper in any game, I choose it. I like being the one that's in the distance, but helping a lot. So that's why Sniper Elite 4 is number 7. On the 6th slot, we have a game that I actually talked about last year, and it was a PlayStation exclusive. This year, it got ported to PC, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. That game is Nioh. Nioh was the Japanese, like very Japanese Bushido Dark Souls game, and as a PlayStation exclusive, I never thought that I would be able to play it. Along with Bloodborne, fingers crossed, I'm still hoping, along with a couple other games that the PlayStation has under its belt. But Nioh made it to PC, and that's why I'm putting it on the list, because now it has a much higher chance of me playing it, but I still have the excitement of last year, so that's why it's number 6. It's right in the center there. It's right in that juicy spot. Number 5 is, well, it's a beautiful game. It is so goddamn beautiful, and I didn't want to play the game until I actually saw people playing the game. To me, it was a really nice art style, Twitch platformer kind of thing. But once I saw people playing it, I thought to myself, I could be really good at Cuphead. I thought that I could be skilled enough. I like platformers. I liked skilled platformers. The 2D stuff. Metroid was one of my big favorites, along with Castlevania. Newer, more favorite, but still around the same era. But with Cuphead coming out, I like the one thing that it's known for is its art style, and hands down, it is the most original goddamn game for its art style. Gameplay-wise, not so much, but it makes up for it with that art style. And I thought, as I watched it, as I saw people playing it, I thought to myself, I could do that. I could do that, but better. On the 4 and up slots, we are dangerously coming into the territory of games I want to play on the channel for reasons of either how being not cooperative or them not being out yet is why they're situated the way they are. But the next couple games I mention have a strong possibility of being series on the channel. And that starts with the number 4 slot of Prey. Prey is BioShock. Enough said. I loved BioShock, and the type of game that was. That type of game it was is a story-driven first-person shooter, but it's more of an exploratory game. I am in a world that I am not familiar with, and I want to learn about it. I have powers that I am unfamiliar with, but they help me take care of all the bad things. There's might be a twist later on that I did not see coming. And with Prey, I have kept myself completely spoiler-free. Because, well, maybe not for the first hour, but for that first hour, once I saw, oh yeah, Prey, it's kind of like BioShock, it's a little Half-Life-y, System Shock-y, games that are piquing my interest nowadays because, well, they're wonderful. But I saw the first hour and I thought to myself, that is a game I'm going to play on the channel because it hit the BioShock level for me. It is a good game that I can put stuff into as well to make it entertaining for you, along with me playing it being entertaining for me. I mean, that's not the only reason I wanted to play it. I mean, it looks amazing. I'm comparing it to BioShock because it literally is almost some semi-homage to BioShock. The first weapon you get in Prey is a wrench. And you swing it and you hold it the same way you do in BioShock. It even does the little flip. Look, I swear to you, it does. It does the little flip, the idle animation. He flips it, the same thing. And that was like, oh, if they're that deep into a BioShock homage, then this is something I really want to experience. And because it's a BioShock homage, I want to not be spoiled by anything. So I kept myself out of watching any Prey stuff, except for the first hour, and maybe a couple highlights here and there. But I know nothing of Prey, its storyline at all. But I'm okay with that. When this next game, number 3, came out, it reminded me of a game, only in name alone, that is probably never going to be made, that I really, really wanted to play. Years back, if you are a first-year channel viewer, or you go back and watch the first 10 games I didn't play of 20, whatever, whenever I started the list, 2012? Maybe 2012. There was a game called Hellraid. Look it up. Looked amazing. There were some demos for it some packs ago, very long time. They're the same people that are making, they were making Dead Rising 2. I don't know what's happened to that game. But when I heard Hellraid, I got very confused when I heard the name Hellblade. It's like, oh my god, it's coming out. Wait, that's not the game. Wait, what is this game? Senua's Sacrifice? Huh. This is interesting. It is a third-person mental illness Viking game. What? It's an odd sentence to be sure, but it looked good. It played good. It's calling to me. It was calling to me, like one of the voices in the woman's head. I mean, there were completely terrible reasons why I wanted to play that game, namely because my comedy stylings would gel so well with that game. It is a dark, serious game that doesn't take lightly on mental illness, and I wanted to be the comedy spotlight that just shined its dark beam of light at it. I would upset so many people playing that game on the channel. I would, but I wouldn't care because I would be enjoying it. Granted, that's not the only reason I want to play this game. It's on the number 3 spot because of what it is. Like, I respect it for all that it is, even though I want to make fun of it. Like, this is a game that sends a message not in a corny way. It is pretty damn accurate to mental illness and, you know, fucked up brain shit. I would know. I have some fucked up brain shit. Not like Senua, though. Depression is completely different. But, almost not so. Which, you know, kind of adds into the I could make very specific jokes that would just jab that knife right into your comedy gut. But it's still an amazing looking game, amazingly story driven. And that's another game that I tended to not spoil myself on for the chance that I would play it later on and figure out the story myself. Pit people, live in pits, act like people, is on the number 2 spot. That was stupid. Very stupid. Pit People is a turn-based tactics game with cute art styling and really, really funny dialogue. Enough said. Like, I've really gotten into my turn-based tactic games over the past couple years, and Pit People is the simplified, yet still core-based goodness of what that means. And like that game looks so funny, and just the amount of customization that you can do with your team, along with the like lightness of it. It is going to be, whenever I get it, whenever it's finished, because it's still kind of in early access, whenever it's finished, it's going to be my background game. Defining background game. When I listen to podcasts or videos that are good, but I just want to hear the people talk and make jokes, I put them on in the background and I play a game. So that's what that way I can like maximize my time of I'm listening to a podcast, but I'm also doing something. You know, I have quite a few background games. One of my actually top games of the year is a background game, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Pit People is a lighter tactics game, which puts it on that list of I can play this game, not really put my full attention to it, but still do good. So, along with that, and the fact that it hits so many good marks for me, it's the number 2 spot. It's an easy number 2 spot. Finally, on the number 1 spot this year is the same game that was on the number 1 spot last year. Monster Hunter Worlds. Oh dear God, I need my Monster Hunter fix. You have no idea how badly I want it. The last time I played a Monster Hunter game was Monster Hunter Tri, and I'm not getting a 3DS just for Monster Hunter. Luckily, it's coming to PC early first quarter of next year. Yay! If you don't know why I love Monster Hunter, go back like last year's video. All you really need to know is that I get to hunt stuff, and I get to have fun with my friends. Plus a whole bunch of other stuff that that's really not too complicated for people to understand, but makes people think it's complicated. See, the series I have in mind that I'm going to be doing with the game is basically a Can I Play. Yes, I'm bringing those back for a brief minute, only in title alone. The first video is going to be like an introduction period, like testing out all the weapons, see what I like, what I don't like, kind of a tutorial for people that aren't familiar with Monster Hunter. And then the rest of the videos are going to be sporadic and me having fun with friends, which I'm really looking forward to doing. Enough said. So, now that all of those games that I didn't play but really want to are taken care of, let's move on to the games I did play, which are 3. Well, I played more games than that, but they were all rehashes of games that I did play and stuff, and nothing really new happened. But, oh wait, no, I'm remembering format. I'm supposed to do an honorable mentions in the middle between the two. What was my honorable mention? Divinity 2. I've already explained enough of that one. Also, I'm realizing that you can see a difference, a possible difference in video stuff. Someone doesn't know how to record off memory card quite yet. Not used to a lot of things. Anyway, let's move on to the top 3 games of 2017. Like I said when I was talking about Pit People, I have a couple games in my roster that I play when I'm listening to podcasts or videos that I want to listen to but not really watch, like min-maxing my time thusly. And the number 3 spot this year goes to the game that I spent over 80 hours on, and it's still going to get updated next year. That game is Pictopix. It is a logic-based pictograph, nonograms game, and it's wonderful. If you are not familiar with what a nonogram is or a pictograph thing, it's essentially a box, either 5x5 or off a little, or 25x25, and it has numbers on its side. And judging on where the numbers are, correlating to all the other numbers, you fill in a dot, you fill in the picture, and it turns out to be a banana, or a violin, or a boot. I love those games. I love that. That's one of my, if not my favorite type of logic puzzle, the nonogram square logic puzzle. And Pictopix is just a tiny game that I decided to like. Yeah, it's cheap. I like the type of game. Let's pick that up. 80 hours. Next, at the number 2 spot, is the game that's still in early access, and it's still being worked on, but as of right now, it's in a playable state that is worth buying, and that's Dead Cells. I love that game. It's that Castlevania vibe that I liked from that I mentioned back in Cuphead. It's that vibe of I have something that I'm good at, and I'm going to use it to get my way to a boss and die horribly, because, dear Lord, the Watcher is a massive, massive asshole. Uh, I I see that game for a speed running thing. Like, I want to be good at that game enough that I can speed run it. This is one of the only games I've ever wanted to speed run. It is smooth as butter. The movement, the attacking, the skills, the layouts, the everything is so good in that game. For the state it's in now, I can't recommend it enough. Now, there was an update that people are not too happy about. That was the update that changed the weapon types into, like, power and strategy and health and whatnot. I'm fine with them. I actually like them, and I think the Foundry update just came out, like, last week, if I'm not mistaken, or putting this out in the right date. It's a... Hey, no mind Mike Gable. It's a wonderful, wonderful game that I'm really happy to be seeing it, like, evolve and stuff. And I'm good, but not that good. Still haven't... I've gotten to the clock tower maybe a couple times and then just died. It's a hard game, but it's a fun game. Finally, the last game. The number one game I played this year. I was very surprised. Not that I would like it, but I would like it this much. It was presented to me like a 2D, almost Dark Souls-y Castlevania. We're bringing up words again that I really, really like. 2D Castlevania, Dark Souls thing, and the world that it just put me in was amazing. And that game was Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is... So there's a feeling that I get, or got, while playing Hollow Knight. And that feeling kind of correlates to immersion, but it's not quite immersion. The world and artwork and the sounds and just the picture that was painted for me, that Hollow Knight put in front of me, I just sat there and played for hours. I beat a good 2/3 of the game in like 3 days because of how much I enjoyed that game. The art style and the world exploring is why I love that game. The feeling of not knowing what's around the other corner, but knowing something around the corner is going to be beautiful. It was an experience. That game was an experience to me. Let's put aside the combat and the Dark Souls-y death mechanic stuff. Just the feeling I got exploring through that game is why this is the number one spot. On top of the skill you had to have in order to beat a few of the bosses. A problem, though, this is not the perfect game of the year. A minor problem that I had was its combat. More specifically, that I'm not sure if it's because I'm not good at it. Probably is, but the difficulty in some of the bosses. Like, it feels not that it's fair. Not in the like in a Dark Souls-y fair kind of way, where you know you have the same amount of chance as any other guy to beat what's in front of you. And if you lose, that was your fault. You made the wrong misjudgment of attacking or not dodging or blocking and whatnot. In Hollow Knight, the salt actually hit me kind of a little bit. Because in some of the boss fights, it wasn't my fault that I died. It was just because the boss was relentless. The one that had me hurting the most was the, there was one, it was like the beetles that jumped around. It was like one of the later off ones. Like, there are some, that fight just kind of irked me the wrong way, but because I was like, okay, I can't do this. I know I have to, but I can't do this. I'm just going to explore the rest of the world, do all sorts of other things. I was okay with it. Like, there were significant roadblocks in that game, unlike other Dark Souls-y-esque games, where the roadblocks were kind of there, but I knew I could get through them if I just, pushed forward, did better. These the roadblocks in Hollow Knight were like concrete brick walls, where it's like, you're going to have to either go through this, or you're not going any further. And that kind of was the only irking problem I had with the game. Everything else is fine. Like, it is still, even with that, it's still my #1 pick for the year. And I've only beaten the game on I've only gotten the first ending. Like, I'm at the point now that I'm trying to get the second and third ending. I need to unlock the White Palace, and that in its own is, again, another problem. Like, there are bosses that I need to fight to get myself more dream essence or whatever it is, but those bosses feel unfair. But I still want to play the game because I'm thinking I can do it, but it's really, 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 really hard to do it. It's challenging, but maybe not in that good way. But I still have the love for that game. So that is why it's #1 this year, and nothing else can be. So that's it. That was the end of the year. That was the games I didn't play, the games I did play. Boy, I'm tired. I've been talking for like 2 hours now, and that's just, oh boy. But yeah, no. All the games that I've mentioned today that I didn't play, go check out yourself, because they're all quality stuff. I just didn't get to play them, or I did, and I loved them. Especially Pick-to-Pix. Holy shit, that game. Like, holy shit, that game. But yeah, no. Put in the comment section what game you thought you liked this year, or if you thought, if there's a game that you think I would like. Because I'd really like to know. I want to make next year's game list a little bit, thicker than just 3 games. But, whatever the case may be, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next year. What's going to happen? I have no fucking clue, but I'm looking forward to it.